Hey guys, another video for our Buying a House in Japan playlist. People often ask what's been going on at the old farmhouse and to show some more of what's going on there. Most of it's pretty boring. It's mostly upkeep and maintenance. What we're showing you here is that's a pipe underneath there. There's a pipe that was put in probably about 15-20 years ago to replace the old system. And this pipe runs from the toilets and runs into the septic tank. So I think we did a video previously, showed you the poo man coming for the septic tank, but there's a septic tank underneath this bamboo here, and that's a new pipe that runs to there. So we assumed that all the dirty water was running into that septic tank, and we've never had any problems with it, so we never bothered to check it out. We just assumed everything was going in there. Once a year the poo man comes and empties the septic tank. However, recently we heard water dripping into the well. Some of you will remember we've got a well in that room in there. We hear water running into the well, came outside and had a look, and came across this scene, which at first we thought was the freshwater pipe there. We showed you once before we had to reroute that pipe there because it got chewed up by roots, but it was grey water, so it obviously wasn't clean. And we assumed that it must run out here, out to the street, because what used to happen is the bath water, the old system was that the bath water would run out to the stormwater drain and then go out into the ocean with the stormwater. So, because bath water sort of goes through, we put them through a sort of a filter, not a filter, but a strainer sort of thing. So the bath water used to go out into the ocean. So people were sort of careful what they put in their bath, because it's usually just soap anyway. So, okay, so we assume that this bamboo here has eaten the pipe underneath this concrete. So we assume we have to get the roots out of the pipe. So in a lot of countries, if you have a job to do like that, you use a thing that some people call a plumber's eel, which looks sort of like this. And at the end of it, there's a big nasty cutting tool. And that machine, you can see there, rotates it. So when you feed it up the pipe, it cuts through roots and things. Lots of you guys watching this would have seen these before. An excellent piece of machinery if you've got roots in your pipes. Usually it takes about 20 minutes. Feed it down the pipe, it cuts out the roots, then you flush it through with water. Job's done. Maybe costs $100 to rent the machine, and it's all good. However, turns out they don't have them in Japan, or the people we spoke to didn't have them. All they have is this, which is available in other countries too. The jets on the right drive the thing forward, and the jets on the left clean the pipe. However, that's only going to work, of course, with soft obstructions, isn't it? That's not going to cut through a root, is it? So we've got a good plumber, we trust him, but Japanese tradesmen often freeze up when it comes to solving problems. So we stood there and looked at this problem with him. And the solution he came up with was to get this guy to come with his truck and blast it out with the water pressure thing. So that was after about an hour of discussion. We talked to the plumber for about an hour. His first plan was to dig up the 25 meters between the blockage and the street, which was going to cost $300 a meter, which, as you can work out, is going to be about, what, $7,500 to dig up the pipe that's there and replace it with a new one. And we said, look, can't we get a snake? No, I don't have snakes in Japan, he reckoned. I described it to him. He'd never heard of it before, he said. And which is unbelievable, isn't it? You know, and we get this sort of thing that does happen here sometimes. Tools that are really common in other countries they just don't have. So we decided, okay, we'll get the $400 option was to clean out the pipe and to push that tool along and find out where the blockage was. However, when he dug a little bit below the surface to where the pipe was, we found that it actually ran in the other direction and ran over here, which is only like 5 meters away, and he dug at it with that shovel there and cleared the obstruction. So all it was leaves and things had blocked the end of the pipe. The pipe runs from being underground there to being an open drain, which is quite common for bath water here too. You'll often come across open drains with bath water flowing along them. So just to sort of try and give us our value for our $400 that we paid for that truck, he cut a hole in the pipe and they fed the cleaning tool down the hole. But really all it was at this end here where the open drain is, it had got clogged up with with leaves and plants and things. So 30 seconds with the sharp shovel in the end of it, and it was fixed. But just to sort of try and give us some value, they fed this down and flushed it out anyway, but it really didn't need it. It was fine. There was no blockage in the pipe itself. So a couple of quick things with this is, just before we go on, we elected to fix that hole ourselves, because having already spent $400 on a job that should have taken 5 minutes and used a sharp shovel, we decided to get the unskilled labourer to fix that hole up. So we gave the plumber his $400, sent him on his way, and the unskilled labourer fixed the hole. So a couple of things about this: if you buy a house in Japan and you use tradesmen, be really careful to analyse what they're telling you and make your own decisions, because his plan was to spend $7,500 to dig a trench, and they would have started to dig that trench and found there was no pipe there. So going with that sort of more careful option at the start, feeding that pipe down to try and find out, we're going to feed that jet down and try and find out where the blockage was actually not a bad option, because it cost us $400, but it would have cost a lot more if we went with plan A. So be careful. We've showed you that before with tradesmen in Japan. You've really got to understand the options and make a decision based on what you think's a good idea, and then insist on going with your own plan if you're confident that it's the way to go. So in that case, it cost $400, but it could have cost a lot more. Anyway, there it was. More videos coming soon.